Right, allow me to introduce the #1 best-selling monitor on Amazon, the $90 Acer SB220Q. You may remember this unassuming little beast from our El Cheapo build, where it stood out as one of the system's best value components. Not only is it full HD 1920 by 1080 with FreeSync and a much appreciated 75 Hz refresh rate, but its sleek chassis houses an IPS panel for improved viewing angles and color accuracy that's not utter garbage. Now, of course, the stand is about as basic as it gets, and it doesn't even have a DisplayPort input, but we're willing to live with that considering its 2-digit price tag. Now, if you're in a similar situation, but you can scrape together an extra 60 bucks or so, this best-selling Scepter is 2.5 inches bigger, curved, if you're into that, and it rocks a 144 Hz refresh rate. Now, it uses a VA panel, a technology that's not really known for its quick pixel response times, so there is more motion blur than you would find on a TN, but at this price point, it's really hard to argue with, given that the C27 is such a great overclocker, has both HDMI and DisplayPort ports, and goes above and beyond with the accessories, including a DisplayPort cable and even a little screwdriver to assemble your monitor with. If you think 1080p is for peasants, while still not exactly being made of money yourself, then meet one of the cheapest 1440p monitors on the market that also has a refresh rate of 144 Hz, the CQ27G1. This thing is an absolute standout at under $250. I mean, so much value. You get a thin bezel, curved VA panel with deep blacks, a stand that adjusts on 3 axes, and multiple input options with their respective cables included in the box. The biggest downside of this monitor is its low brightness, but if you plan to primarily use it for gaming, we did find that you can make up for some of that by tweaking the saturation to your liking. Because the thing is, the human eye perceives more saturated colors as being brighter. Just whatever you do, don't use the canned color profiles because they are way too long. Oh! If this sounds like the monitor for you, hold on a second though, because the next gen version, CQ27G2, is now available in China and is coming to Amazon.com in mid-December. It uses a different G-Sync compatible panel now with a tighter 1500R curve, and while we haven't actually tried it yet, all signs point to it being a very good value. Just like this gun. Now, for the main event. If you're prepared to drop a decent chunk of change on a strong mid-range monitor, we've actually got a couple of recommendations for you, starting with the 144 Hz category. One of the most exciting monitors of the year for us was the LG 27GL850B, purported to be the first IPS monitor with TN level 1 millisecond response times. Now, in reality, the monitor can't really approach that figure unless you enable completely unsightly levels of pixel overdrive. But even if you dial it back, the response times are still fantastic, with shockingly little motion blur for an IPS. It's a 1440p monitor with adaptive sync, including the G-Sync compatible certification, and LG's NanoCell tech gives it a very wide color gamut despite the fact that it's using an 8-bit plus FRC panel rather than a true 10-bit one. Now, is the monitor perfect? No. It's an HDR-ent monitor thanks to its pedestrian 350 nits peak brightness, so the contrast isn't amazing, and it does not offer a backlight strobing mode to further improve motion blur, but in my opinion, LG more than made up for that by pricing this new technology and impressive feature set at a $500 point that we consider very compelling. So compelling, in fact, that you actually might have a hard time tracking one down this time of year. So if that happens, here's plan B, the Asus VG27AQ.